this is Tom at Sweet Maria's, and these are the coffees for the Home Barista Roasting Challenge. What I'm doing right now is I set up a table of the blend coffees, and we have 2 cups of each coffee, which is perfect for 1 cupper, which in this case it's just me. So we're going to go through these. One thing I noticed already is that while there's a lot of different degrees of roast, which you'd expect, so it's a little bit of a challenge for a cupper to taste very different degrees of roast together. I've noticed a really good quality in the sample roasting. I think that I don't see scorching or tipping. I think we're seeing some really nice roasting technique this year, and I think I saw some pretty good scorching last year, so it seems like an improvement. Also, the coffees are very sweet. My notes so far, almost every single one: dark fig sweetness, Ethiopia honey fruit sweetness, balanced honey and caramel scent, rustic sweetness. There's a Sumatra in there. Every single one of these has some note about the sweetness, so pretty exciting because I think all the coffees were good challenging, and I can go through. The coffees for this were, the people didn't know this when they were blending it, but the letter A was Sumatra Grade 1 Mandling. B was El Salvador Siberia Estate Bourbon. C was San Diego Buena Vista Bourbon. D was Brazil Dry Process Bahia Chapada Diamantina. And E was the wet process Ethiopia Leotoraga. What's kind of interesting about all those, I mean, A is the one coffee that I would say does not have sweetness, a lot of sweetness, but was a really good rustic lot. The B and C, the El Salvador and the Guatemala, are Bourbons. They're very compact, really good blending coffees. They roast really well. They're not, they're restrained flavor profiles. The Brazil in this case is a real fruity Brazil, so a lot of the fruit's coming from that. Whereas E, the Ethiopia, is a clean wet process one, not a dry processed one. So there's going to be some interesting ways that people get the kind of effect of a dry process Ethiopia by using the Chapada Diamantina with the wet processed Ethiopia that was there. They're going to so some of these coffees are going to combine in interesting ways. They're going to get some of the rustic qualities that you might find in Ethiopia or Brazil with the dry process by adding a Sumatra and getting a little of that sweaty, earthy Sumatra taste. So excited about cupping these. Let's start. Okay, so I just finished scoring the blends here, and I just want to make a couple quick comments because this is a really difficult job here. The question is, do you score the coffees? Do you score the roast? What I have to just do is have a blank mind and just score the flavors in front of me. I want to admit, though, that, you know, especially in any competition, if you want to enter coffees, you're always going to get better results entering clean coffees than the real rustic ones. So people that entered Brazil and Sumatra may get knocked down in points even if their coffee is a crowd pleaser. In fact, Doug LaPlante right here says crowd pleaser, and I bet it is, but it didn't score well with me. That's just going to be the nature of competition coffees. Sorry. Cup of Excellence or anything, or Good Foods, or all these, the Coffee of the Year competition and SCAA, that's just going to be the rule. But I wanted to note a few things here. First of all, I think my favorite blend here, and not to give reward to the organizer, Jim Schulman's blend is really interesting. There's 3 coffees here that really jump out in terms of being sweeter, juicier, and just good choices. Sherman Chong is a beautiful roast, all roasted to one level. It's 60B 40D, which is Siberia and the Brazil. And he used the Brazil really well in here. So it's mainly El Salvador. Just a really compact coffee. I just love this roast. I want to make this as single origin espresso. Kind of light roast single origin espresso. Great cup. Really sweet and juicy in the finish. The other one here is Rama Roberts coffee. Is a much lighter roast than the others. Usually that's going to do a little better in a competition where it lets the coffee shine through. But, you know, we're trying to judge roast here. So, he's not going to win this one because, but the cup is really good. He just chose really nice coffees, put them together nicely. We don't even know what that blend is. Jim's gonna get the nod here because what he did was 3 different roast levels of coffee B, C, and E. So he chose the El Salvador Bourbon, just as an accent with a light roast. The C, the Guatemala San Diego Buena Vista at a medium roast. So those are 2 Bourbons, very clean. And then he chose the Ethiopia, which he did a dark roast. Very interesting to me because I would do the opposite as he did. I would accent the cup with a small percentage of light roast Ethiopia and choose to take the Bourbons a little darker. But it's a really nice cup. It has a tangy roast taste from that darker roast, but it's accented really well with these sweet, clean, juicy flavors. And I think it deserves the nod because he really took on the roasting challenge. He really made some decisions in roasting. So, well, the other cups are comparable, or I may just like them better. I think this was a good choice in terms of roast. Okay, I'm going to move on to the single origins now.